This is one of the stories I've been telling the longest. I've been telling since 95. So this is one I heard one version of up at Cafe Lena, the story crafters, Jerry Burns and Barry Marshall from Philmont, New York, which is mid-Hudson region. Yeah. They were up there and they told a version of this story. I found a couple of others, and then I've, as storytellers usually do, crafted my own with bits and pieces from all of those. Once there was a man named Sean Kiley who lived in a little cottage in Ireland with his wife, his father, and his blind mother. They were very poor. They didn't have any tablecloths at all. No. And one fall, their harvest was very poor. So every morning that winter, just before dawn, Sean Kiley would go out hunting, hoping to shoot some animal, maybe even a squirrel would be welcomed in their stew pot to complement the potatoes and turnips. Well, one morning, Sean Kiley was out in that early light before dawn and was crossing a harvested field and saw something white out of the corner of his eyes over by the edge of the woods. And he turned thinking, oh, it's probably some animal grazing on the harvested stubble. I often see animals like that, but this one's white and it's very large. I wonder what it could be. So Sean Kiley started very quietly walking towards that large white animal. And then he stopped because he was close enough to recognize what it was. It was a huge white stag, a huge male deer with an enormous rack of antlers. Oh, Sean Kiley stopped, and this was a magnificent creature, and the beauty of it filled him. But then he remembered his family's hunger, and he started looking at it like food. The meat on that creature's bones, it could feed my family for weeks. So reluctantly, he started now stalking that animal, only moving when its head was eating the stubble, turned away from him, and freezing when the animal's head was anywhere in his direction. Finally, he was close enough to shoot the white stag. He raised his gun, and again, the beauty of that creature filled Sean Kiley, and he just admired it. And then he remembered the hunger of his family and raised his gun again. And at that exact moment, the white stag raised its head, and their eyes met, looking into each other's eyes. And then the white stag spoke. Sean Kiley, if you will spare my life, I will grant you one wish. Well, Sean Kiley thought very quickly, whoa, this is a white stag. They're very rare, and it speaks, and it knows my name. Oh, it truly must be a magical creature. It could grant me one wish. Yes, I will gladly spare your life for one wish, because I belong to a family who needs at least one wish to help it. For my one wish, it's very hard to pick just one wish, the white stag said. Sean Kiley, I will give you till tomorrow morning at this time to decide on your one wish. Meet me here tomorrow. And then the white stag turned and strode off into the woods. All thought of shooting any animal had completely left Sean Kiley's mind. He just headed home thinking, well, what should my one wish be? But by the time he got home, he was no closer to an answer than he had been when the stag had given him the opportunity. So Sean told his family what had happened. Then he turned to his father and said, "Father, if you had one wish, what would it be?" "Oh, Sean, if I had one wish, Well, you know we had a poor harvest this year, and part of that was because I wasn't strong. I'm not as strong as I used to be, nor as steady on my feet, so I wasn't able to plant as much, and if I had one wish, it would be for a lot of gold, because with a lot of gold, we'd never be hungry again." "Thank you, Father. That's a good wish." And then Sean turned to his blind mother and said, "Mother, if you had one wish, what would it be?" "Oh, Sean, if I had one wish, well, if the wish was just for myself, you know, I've always wanted to see the faces of my loved ones. So if I had one wish, it would be for my sight." "Oh, that's a good wish, Mother. Thank you." And then Sean turned to his wife and said, "Wife, what would your one wish be?" "Sean, you've known what my one wish has been ever since we were married. You remember our 2 children, the wee ones, both of whom died before their first birthdays. My one wish has always been for a healthy child." "Ah, wife, yes, I know that's your wish." So it was very quiet around the Kiley cottage that afternoon, and when they sat down for their supper, to their watered down stew, that was all they had been able to put in it that day, extra, just some more water. They weren't talking much, but all of a sudden Sean got a smile on his face, and he went to bed that night and fell asleep as if he was a man who had absolutely nothing on his mind. It seemed as if he had decided on his one wish, but he didn't tell anyone. But did he decide on his father's wish for the gold, or his mother's wish for her sight, or maybe he decided on his wife's wish for a healthy child? But that next morning he was up while it was still dark, and he had been waiting for quite a while at that spot at the edge of the woods when the white stag strode out. "Well, Sean Kiley, have you decided on your one wish?" "That I have. My one wish is for my mother to see my healthy child rocking in its cradle made of gold."
Wow! There you go. There you go.
So if you're ever given one wish, just keep on talking. My one wish is for a big party with Colin Firth and Pierce Brosnan and my husband and Robert Redford. He's getting a little wrinkled.
He's going to get wrinkled.
No, I just keep on talking and you know. Oh yeah, and lobster needs to be on the menu and chocolate. Several anyways, you get the point. But what's also interesting about this story is there's a Jewish version where the husband himself is blind, but he and his wife are poor, but they've been very good people, very good neighbors. And so Elijah comes down from heaven to give them one wish. And this poor blind man's wish is I wish to see my children, he's upped the ante, my children eating off of plates of gold. Same story, and whether it started in Ireland and traveled to the Mideast, or whether it started there and came back, or whether it started someplace else independently and went in both directions, who knows and who cares? It speaks to many, many people.
Well,